What is up, everybody? Welcome to another awesome edition of Ken's Movie Experience. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. I hope that you all are ready for a Denzel Washington movie tournament, because that's what you guys voted for. You wanted the Denzel Washington movie tournament, and by God, you're going to get it. So we are here tonight live. It is May the 2nd. I cannot believe it is already May. So yeah, awesome. I appreciate everybody joining tonight. I'll wait for a second just to see if some other people join in. But basically, how I usually start these things: what have you guys been watching over the weekend? Have you watched any good movies? Have you read any good books? Have you played any video games? What have you guys been doing in the world of entertainment? Anything interesting at all? I, of course, worked all weekend. That's what I do. Up at 4:30 this morning at work. Just got out a couple hours ago. I decided to go on a little bit earlier tonight. I tried to tried to get on at 9 o'clock instead of 9:30. I just pushed myself to do so. Usually I have to allow myself a little bit more time, but I was able to pull it off. So I was happy to do so. But yeah, welcome everybody. What is up? How are you guys doing? Let's see who we got in the chat right now. We got Unwrap Them Movies. He says, let's go, with a fire emoji. What's up, Unwrap? How are you doing tonight? He said, what's up, Ken? How are you doing, man? Married with Media. What is up, Married with Media? How are you doing tonight? For those of you guys that don't know, one interesting thing that I did last week is I started another YouTube channel with my wife. We're going to be reviewing TV shows, maybe some movies here and there. We have an Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, we have a channel introduction video. So anybody that wants to go check that out can go ahead and do so, kind of see what we're all about. It's kind of like a 4-minute video. And then you can decide whether or not you want to subscribe. And we do have some content coming this week. We're going to be doing at least one review, maybe two this week if we get the time. So yeah, definitely hit the link down below. I have our channel linked down below, and you can subscribe to that channel if you guys want to. So I would definitely appreciate it. Let's see who else we got in here. Mary the Media says, I really wanted Tom Hanks to win. Yeah, I was actually very surprised that Denzel Washington won. I mean, not because he's not one of the best actors of all time. It's just not what I was expecting to win. I was expecting a Tom Hanks, or maybe even more surprising was that Will Smith didn't win. I thought that he's like one of the biggest stars of all time. I would have thought for sure Will Smith would have won. So I don't know. It's Denzel Washington. So I'm down for talking about Denzel Washington. Got an excellent filmography of just very diverse films. And before we get into it, guys, I've already gotten some comments and some feedback. What about this movie? What about that movie? What about this? The dude has 60 movies, and they're all like good to great. So lay off. He has such a great filmography, and I could only put 16 on here. But the ones that people did bring up as me leaving out, I tried to put in the voting today for a last final entry, and they were all films that I have not seen. So yes, that is another stipulation. I did put one film that I hadn't seen in the tournament, but I since I'm up here talking about them, I kind of want to have at least seen them before. So there were some films that I hadn't seen. Yes, I do have some Denzel Washington gaps for sure. So let's get into who else is in here, guys. We got Danny K Reviews. He says, what up, fam? What is up, Danny K? How are you doing tonight, man? Definitely go check out Danny K. Great YouTube channel, as well as Unwrap Them Movies. Sydney Eubanks is here. He says, what up? What up, Sydney Eubanks? How are you doing tonight? Martin Gomez says, hey, Mid-Level Media, I seriously love Denzel Washington's film. I wish The Little Things was good. Speaking of, what do you think about The Little Things? Well, I actually reviewed The Little Things on this show, I think, when it came out. So you can go back to Ken's Movie Experience, I think maybe episode 3, probably, or maybe it was 4, where I talked about that movie, Am Palmer. But I also have a review on my Instagram as well. It really wasn't that good. I didn't love it, if I'm being honest. It was fine. To be honest, I'll probably revisit it one day just to see if it holds up a little bit better than what I think. But I thought Denzel Washington was okay. Rami Malek was bad, in my opinion, just was not a good performance. And who else was in it? Jared Leto was fine, just kind of doing Jared Leto weird stuff. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Netrim Jerva says, "Hey Ken, what's up? What's up, Netrim? How you doing tonight?" Basement Blue says, "Hi everyone. Hey Tony, what is up, man? Have not got a chance to check out your tag video where I tagged you to do the horror subgenres. I do appreciate you taking part in that, though, and I am going to check it out soon. I know Unwrap Them Movies also took part, and M for Movies that I'm still waiting on something from, and I think 4KD Ray. Hopefully, we'll get something out at some point, but I understand if you guys don't take it. I usually don't do the tags that often, but I don't know. I just really like that idea and decided to go through with it. So, Anthony Mastraniani, hope I said that right. Going through the Terminator franchise right now, have only ever seen T2 before now because of the first movie not being on TV when I grown up. You know, that might be the reason why I did not watch the first Terminator for the longest time, because I grew up with T2. That was that was the first Terminator I saw. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I just watched it over and over again, but for some reason was never compelled to watch the first Terminator. I think it's because I heard that Arnold was a bad guy in it, and I just wasn't interested in that kind of Arnold Terminator. So I never watched it growing up, and I didn't even see that movie until maybe like 5 years ago. But yeah, I saw Terminator 2, pretty much every Terminator except for Dark Fate before I saw the first Terminator. So that is an interesting fact about me. Martin Gomez says, new channel. MML, that's nice. It's perfect. Yeah, man, subscribe. We got the link down below. Just hit that link and subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it, and we will have some content coming soon. Sydney Eubank says, my favorite actor of all time, Denzel Washington. I mean, he's a great actor. He's one of the greats, in my opinion, at least in the modern era of film, because I'm not prepared to comment on just the decades of film since like the 20s. I didn't grow up then. I haven't seen all those movies. I would say in the modern era, which I would define like 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, I would say the Mount Rushmore would be like Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Daniel Day-Lewis, something like that. So he's definitely among the top 4 actors of this generation for sure. Andrew Field says, what's up, Ken? What is up, Andrew? How are you doing tonight? Tiana Loves Movies says, hey, everyone, with a smiley face. What is up, Tiana? Glad you could be here. Unwrap Them Movie says, doing good watching Training Day. Oh, man. And yeah, Training Day. I have a feeling about Training Day. It's probably going to make it pretty far in the tournament. If I like Training Day. To be honest, I've only seen it once, and it was probably a while ago, and you're going to hear me say that a couple of times about some other Denzel movies. But every movie in my well, no, now there's 2 movies that I haven't seen in the tournament, but the other ones I have seen. There's a very specific few Denzel Washington movies that I just watched over and over again when I was a kid. So you might be scratching your head as to why The Bone Collector is on my list and not like maybe better movies, more prestigious films from Denzel's filmography. It's because I probably watched The Bone Collector like 25 times when I was 14. I love that movie. It's a great horror suspense thriller with Denzel Washington. So that is why The Bone Collector is on the list. Tiana Loves Movies says, I definitely wanted Tom Hanks to win. I know you're on a tear with the Tom Hanks movies right now for sure. So yeah. Martin Gomez says, hey, MML, what about Flight? That one is a masterpiece. Also, do you have it on Blu-ray? So Flight, I put in the voting today, but that's a Robert Zemeckis film, and I have not seen it. But let me see if I have the Blu-ray. I thought I had it close, but yes, I do have the Blu-ray. I remember finding it at a Half Price Books for like $4, like a year or 2 ago, maybe. But yeah, I own Flight with the slipcover. I need to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight when I get off here. Who knows? If you all convince me enough. But yeah, I've heard really good things about Flight. It kind of reminded me just from the synopsis of like a Sully type movie, maybe. Only he's a drunk. But I don't know. It sounded interesting. I love Robert Zemeckis. I think he's one of the most underrated directors of all time. Sydney Eubank says, I'm watching The Little Things. Really? How did you feel about The Little Things? Did you like that one? The Blu-ray King says, I don't care for Denzel, but when you do Tom Hanks, I'll be all up in this. Really? You don't care for Denzel? I think it's just because you might not have seen a lot of his films. If you're just basing that off of like Roman J. Israel or whatever that movie was called and The Little Things, you're probably not a big fan of Denzel. But go back to Blu-ray King and check out some of his earlier filmography, and I promise you that you will be a fan of Denzel Washington. Cal L. Daly says, hey, Ken, what up? I'm in here. What is up, Cal L? I'm happy that you could join us tonight. Superman himself is here, and Bill Tyrell is here. He says, hi, Ken. Well, hi yourself, Bill Tyrell. How are you doing tonight, man? Chris Morrow is here. Denzel has a great catalog of movies. I like him in those Tony Scott movies. Yeah, Pelham 123 did not make the list, but another Tony Scott Denzel collaboration did. So yeah, I've seen Taking Pelham 123, but to be honest, I didn't love that one. I thought it was okay. It was an okay remake, but it wasn't good enough to kind of have me put it on the list. That one and Deja Vu was another one that didn't make the list that I've seen from Denzel. Rev 4K, Ken, you want to go to jail or you want to go home? I want to go home. I want to go home, Rev. I do. Rev 4K, isn't it the booty house? Martin Gomez says, so any new movies you've seen recently? So we're about ready to go into, right before we get into the Denzel tournament battle, we're going to do, I'm going to talk about all the movies that I watched in April, which is a very short list. And I said this back in January when I did my January movie log, which was like almost 40 movies that I watched in January. I just came in hot and heavy into the new year. And then every single month it's like dropped. And this month it was like 13 movies that I watched, which is extremely low for me. There was a couple of weeks where I only watched like 2 or 3 movies. And yeah, it's just been busy, you know, between the channel and just other things. And I just haven't had as much time to watch movies, which is kind of sad. And I want to watch more movies. So maybe in May, we'll have some more movies that'll be on my list. And yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot of TV coming up too. So, but as for any new movies, I'll watch Mitchell and the Machines with my family on Friday. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And Spontaneous was another one that I watched last week with my wife. About it was like kind of like a teen coming of age story romance that was also like a splatterfest horror film. it was a different kind of movie, but I enjoyed it. Hold on. Chris said, I kind of like The Little Things, but I didn't like the ending. I mean, the ending was the ending. I didn't mind it. I don't know. The movie just felt extremely basic, a little bit generic. Cal L. Daly says you have to watch all Terminators. All Terminator, they're awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've seen all the Terminators now. Rev 4K says, I prefer T1 over T2. The only one where Arnold is actually Terminator, not being taught to say cowabunga and eat my shorts by Edward Furlong. Voice cracks. I don't know. I think you're offering a very simplistic view of what Terminator is as a movie. And he doesn't say cowabunga or eat my shorts. Does he? Am I remembering that wrong? I like Terminator, though. I mean, I really like Terminator a lot. Like, that's my third favorite Arnold film, I would say. Terminator 2, then Predator, then the first Terminator. So, like, I love that movie. When I watched it, I was like, where the hell has this movie been all my life? And why didn't I watch this earlier? I mean, yeah, it's like a straight-up horror slasher movie. And it's great. But to put it over T2, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I do like the score a little bit better in Terminator 1. I'll say that. Irish Bauer says, Denzel movies, I'm a huge fan. Seen all of his movies and all his TV show and TV PVOSE. What is that? Not sure. Terminator 1 is on TV all the time. It is a classic. Yes, 2 is better, but the first is also one of the greatest movies ever. I agree. Chris Morrow says, there is a decent Terminator game on PS5 that is all about the future war and time period of T1 and T2. Is that a new game? I think I've seen commercials for that. Chris, what did you think about The Last of Us Part 2 and the controversy it got? I did not play Last of Us Part 2. I don't really play a lot of games anymore. And I've only played the first 2 hours of the first Last of Us. Not because it was bad. I just, like I said, I don't play games anymore. I just don't have enough time to commit to that type of game. Like if I play a game now, like the last game I played all the way through and beat was Spider-Man. That's 2018 Spider-Man. And I still haven't got to play Miles Morales yet, but I did watch my son play most of it. I don't know if I play a game now, like it has to be extremely fast paced and just me turning my brain off and just not really thinking about too much. So yeah, I don't really like the kind of long form story type games anymore. I get all my stories out of my movies now. Cal Daly says best Denzel movie for me is Book of Eli. Well, Book of Eli is actually in the tournament. I tried to get a good mix of like classic Denzel, 90s Denzel, more modern Denzel, and then like more recent Denzel. So I tried to go all through the time period. So that's why you might see movies like Book of Eli and Fences and stuff, which a lot of people don't talk about it as being among his best. But if you're asking me, I love Fences. Like Fences is easily one of my top 3 favorite Denzel Washington movies. And I think it's one of the best movies of the past decade, to be honest. Andrew Fio says, I just watched Coming to America 4K. It looked good in 4K. The movie looked good in 4K, and it was a really funny movie. I got to watch it for the first time this year. Eugene Rouse says, I love The Bone Collection too. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's a really good thriller. I really love that movie. The Bone Collector is excellent. Angie was fine in that, LOL, but I got Fallen in my top 5 Denzel. Nobody talks about it. Well, lucky for you, Cal-El, I put Fallen in the tournament because that's another one that I really love from Denzel. I just loved how Denzel just went through this phase of horror almost. And I know it's not classified as a horror film, neither is The Bone Collector. It's like crime, thriller, mystery, or whatever. But it's horror. Like that movie's horror, Bone Collector's horror, and they both came out in the same year, 1998, too. So there was something about 1998 and Denzel Washington wanting to do some horror films. Shrimp Man said, what did you think of T1? I love T1. Great science fiction horror film. Andrew Field says, there's more to it than Sully. Yeah, I would say so. Sully's just basically reenacting the same scene like over and over again. Mark Gomez says, alrighty then, well, gotta go now. Nice talking with you. Have a great night. Well, awesome that you could be here for as long as you were, Martin. Also, just got to tell you that I got Donnie Darko Arrow Dread 4K Steelbook and Friday the 13th Steelbook days just got better. Okay, gotta go. Well, I hope you enjoy your watch of Donnie Darko better than I did. Sydney Eubank says, I love the little things. It's a guessing movie. Well, I'm glad you like it, man. What's up, Ken says GCap Recap. What is up, GCap Recap? Got a YouTube channel himself, so definitely go check out GCap Recap. Sydney Eubank says Deja Vu is underrated. Yeah, it's another one I haven't seen in a long time. I just remember not liking it too much, or not that I didn't like it too much. It was just there was a certain number of movies that I watched in like the mid 2000s that I just can't remember anymore. And if I can't remember them, it means they were pretty uneventful for me. So yeah, I can't really pinpoint why I don't like that movie, but I just remember not really engaging with it that well. Andrew Field says, I have watched most of Denzel's movies. Awesome. He's got 60 movies, so that's a ton of movies to get through. Denzel is greatest actor of the last 30 years. The question is, where does he rank all time? For me, he is number 1, but we got to put him up there at the top. I mean, all time, probably top 5. I mean, I can't think of like the older classic actors that could really beat him. But I would think he'd be in the top 5, to be honest. I hope Virtuosity, let's see, is on the list. It is not, man. I hate to break it to you. I like Fallen, says Shrimpa Man. Side Hustle Cinema says, what's up, everybody? What is up, Side Hustle? How are you doing tonight? Chris said, do you think Fast and Furious 9 will make 1 billion? It's tough to say now. It's really tough to even predict the box office now in this kind of post pandemic world that we're living in. So who knows? It might, and if it does, it's going to make most of it from China. So I don't know. Unstoppable is a very good movie. I know there were some people pulling for Unstoppable too. They were mad I didn't put that on the list. I think maybe Side Hustle was one of them. Cal Aldeli says, Chris Morrow, the Terminator game for PS2 and Xbox called Redemption was so awesome. Home Movie Collection AK said Training Day is going to win this poll, but Glory, American Gangster, Crimson Tide, and Man on Fire and Fallen are all great. Yeah, all on the list, man. If you want to see the full list, it's down in the description below, all except for He Got Game, which got voted in just a few hours ago. Unwrapped the movie says Saw Without Remorse. It's pretty decent. It just looked like one of those movies that was pretty decent. That's why I didn't rush to watch it. I did want to watch that Netflix movie with Amanda Seyfried in it, called like Never Things Seen or so. Never heard that. I can't even remember. There's so many movies now that just I don't know. It feels like they're just stringing words together at this point to come up with titles, and it's just nonsense. Side Hustle Cinema says, I agree, Sydney. Unstoppable is one of my favorite Denzel movies. 4K D-Ray's in the house. The commissioner of the Movie Collection Battle League says, what is up, everybody? What is up, 4K? How are you doing tonight? Unwrap Them Movie says, I like the Man on Fire with Denzel. Well, that is on the list, sir, and that's one of my favorites also. Also a really good Tony Scott film. Unwrap Them Movie says, sup, 4K D-Ray. 4K D-Ray says, what is going on? Unwrap. Home Movie Collection, AK said, Cal-El Daily, the new Terminator game is called Terminator Resistance. Awesome. I wish I could play some games. Unwrap the Movie says, just cooking and checking out Ken's live. Awesome, man. Yeah, I've been seeing what you've been cooking, man. I've been seeing it, and it looks pretty good. You need to send some of that my way. Not only does Unwrap Them Movies, an expert at unwrapping them movies, he's also a mean chef in the kitchen. Sydney Eubanks says, Malcolm X and Training Day are the best movies by Denzel. No doubt. Definitely Malcolm X, but I don't know if Training Day would crack my top 5, if I'm being honest. I don't know if it was. I know some people are probably like mind blown by that because it's probably going to win the tournament. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I may have some wrenches to throw in there, but yeah, it's to me like I like it, but there's too many other Denzel Washington movies that I love more. Home Movie Collection AK says, is Virtuosity in the list? It is not. And to be honest with you, that's the first time I'm hearing about that movie. I got to look that up because I've never heard of that movie. And I went through his entire filmography yesterday to try to pick out which ones to put on the list. Chris said, do you have Blade Runner 2049 on 4K? I heard it's really good on there. Yes, I do. It's right here, and it looks great. It's one of the best 4Ks in my collection. All right. 4K Deary says, I saw those blueberry pancakes, Daniel. Let's see. Out of Time. Fallen is one of my favorite Denzel movies. The list is in the description. It is. Mary with Media says, Daniel has been killing me with the food post, making me hungry. Millhouse is in the house. No doubt getting ready to ask me if I've seen Gangster Squad. Right? Monster Squad, not Gangster Squad. And no, I have not. Haha, yes, those pancakes came out. I can't help it, Mary with Mia. I just love cooking. If Bone Collector isn't number one, I riot. Exactly. And you know what? I'm going to get on board with you this time, 4K. Even though it's not my favorite Denzel movie, I would put a couple others, but I would not be mad or upset at all if the Bone Collector won because I absolutely love that movie, and it's been too long since I've seen it. Eugene Rawls says, Denzel Washington is best actor. I haven't seen a lot of Denzel movies. Really? Well, we got to fix that. Jack Nicholson is top 5. I don't know if I could put Jack Nicholson in the top. Jack Nicholson's got a lot of great performances. But I don't know. I don't know if I could put him in the top 5. There's some movies that I haven't seen. I mean, he's got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a great movie. He's got The Shining, of course. I mean, iconic. Probably easily one of the, if not the best horror performance of all time in that movie. But after that, I mean, what does he get? The Departed. I mean, I'm sure he got Batman 1989, but that's not a prestigious movie. I don't know. Give me some Jack Nicholson movies that could back that up. Chinatown, I've never seen. So yeah, Inside Man is good. Yeah, it's that was on the voting today, and people did not vote for it. Jack Nicholson should be your next tournament battle. I wouldn't mind doing a Jack Nicholson tournament battle. I just don't know about him being one of the greatest of all time. but I wouldn't mind doing a Jack Nicholson tournament battle. American Gangster is top 5 Denzel to me. He got games, so underrated. Yeah, I need to see that movie. It's an earlier Spike Lee movie. Unbreakable is a good movie. Do you think we'll get a 4K of it? I hope so. I really hope so. I hope we get it of all Shyamalan's films. Roman Esquire is underrated. That movie is directed by the same guy that did Nightcrawler. That still blows my mind that those two people did the same. And then he follows it up with Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't know. Virtuosity has a young Russell Crowe in it as well. So is it an earlier Denzel movie, probably like early 90s or something? Far as impact, Malcolm X movie is top 5 for me, but I'll take Book of Eli over it, and Training Day is always top 2. Next time, do a tournament with Al Pacino. I am working through a lot of Al Pacino's filmography right now. I've seen at least 3 new ones that I've never seen this year. So that could definitely be in the card someday. And I think he could definitely be in the conversation for one of the best actors of all time, just from what I've seen of him recently, because he's given like 2 of my favorite performances of all time with Dog Day Afternoon and Scarface. Now, I don't have to mention Monster Squad. It's in your head rent-free. It is. You don't even have to mention it anymore, man. Let's see. I love how easily you can find a movie on your shelves. Yeah, I mean, I know I have them pretty organized right now. They're not alphabetical, but I know my 4Ks are over there. I know my dramas are up here. All my Screen Factories and Arrows are back there. Steel books are up there. I mean, everything's pretty organized, and I can find stuff. Unwrapped the movie says Anger Management. A Few Good Men. Jack wasn't in it enough. Tough. Yeah. Yeah, he was in that one too. I'm sure there's some other ones I'm not thinking of. I haven't seen Blade Runner 2049 yet, but I've heard good things about it, but I can't wait to watch it, and definitely on 4K. Yeah, to me, Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original Blade Runner, but I'm not a big fan of the original Blade Runner. I mean, I liked the final cut better than the theatrical cut that I watched. I did not dig that voiceover at all from Harrison Ford, but to me, I'm sorry, Blade Runner's overrated. It's an overrated movie, and it's proof again why I think that Ridley Scott as a director is overrated. He's got 2 movies that are great to me. One of them's Gladiator, one of them's Alien. Everything else is okay to good. But yeah, I don't get why that guy is held up as one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Cal L. Daly says, as much as I like The Bone Collector, maybe be in my top 5, but you tend to forget about it. Something like He Got Game, great movies, or for some reason you forget about the Jack Nicholson, Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton. I think top 10 don't get it in order, but there's always good. And I mean, Michael Keaton's like one of my favorite actors of all time. He always will be. And it doesn't mean that I think he's the greatest actor of all time. He's just one of my favorites. Side 7.7 6.7 doesn't like this list at all. Gene Hackman is top actor worthy as well. Definitely, but I need to see more Gene Hackman. I need to see The French Connection. I need to see The Conversation. So I love Gene Hackman, but my list of movies that I've seen him in is very shallow. But one of them we're going to be talking about tonight. Are you planning to get the PS5 and replace your old 4K player with the PS5? Yeah, eventually I am. Probably wait until around November this year, around Black Friday, to see if I can get a good deal on it. Hi, Ken. As Good as It Gets is a great Jack Nicholson film. I did not like As Good as It Gets at all. I'd never seen that movie. I watched it last year for the first time, and I did not like that movie. I did not like it at all. I thought it was extremely cheesy and campy, and just having of all the worst tropes of the 90s that I've ever seen. I don't know how that movie got nominated for Best Picture. I don't get it. Helen Hunt is awful in that movie, and I love her. Cal L. Daly says, Ken, what's the best alien movie for you? I'm talking about Weaver films. Sigourney Weaver films. The best alien movie for me is Alien. I mean, I'm more of a horror fan than an action fan, and it always comes down to the debate between Aliens versus Alien, and Alien is a horror movie, Aliens is an action movie. So I will always go Alien, and yeah, Ridley Scott, his best movie. Dang, Magnificent Seven missed this list too. Yeah, that's, I know it's the best Western of all time. It's certainly better than No Country for Old Men, but it didn't make the list. 5 Easy Pieces, 1971, A Safe Place, 1971, The Last Detail, 1973. Chinatown 1974, The Missouri Bricks 1976, The Postman Always Rings Right 1981, Terms of Endearment 1983. Is that all your Jack Nicholson? Thank you. You just gave me a list of 6 movies that I've never seen. So I need to check those out. Maybe I can consider Jack Nicholson one of the greats. Sid, 6.7 is the villain in Virtuosity played by Russell Crowe. See, I wouldn't get that because I haven't seen that movie. Great Nicholson films. Better not be any hate for Reuben Hurricane Carter on this list either. So if you're asking me what other Denzel Washington film did I watch just as much as The Bone Collector, it was The Hurricane. And I have no idea why. It was just like when I was 14 or 15, it was like The Bone Collector and The Hurricane. I just watched those movies on repeat. I have no idea why. But yeah, I love that movie. Home Movie Collection. Thanks. I got to check that if I get a PS5. GCap Recap says, why didn't you mention Saint Elsewhere when mentioning Denzel's best? JK, glad to see you brought up Glory. People always seem to forget about that one and only concentrate on his newer movies. Yes, again, he has 60 movies in his filmography, and they're all good to great. At least he's good to great in them. It was very hard to narrow down to 16 and get a good mix of genres and decades and just types of performances and just I thought I did a decent job. But again, I'm going to be leaving out people's favorites because that's also that I think is a sign of a good actor that everybody has like a different favorite and there's just so many different ones to choose from. And yeah, Chris says, what is the Washington movie where his son has a heart attack and Washington takes the hospital hostage? That's John Q. And that's on the list. The Equalizer is my favorite Denzel Washington movie. That's a good one. John Q. Love that Alien versus Aliens and Terminator versus Terminator 2 have the horror versus action debate, and they're both more awesome for that. Yeah, and the funny thing is I go the opposite on Terminator. I like the action better. So my argument for why I like Alien versus Aliens doesn't hold any weight when I say that about the Terminator franchise. But I also just think Terminator 2 is a better movie. It's just a better movie. Come on, Kim. We need all 60 movies on this list. If I put all 60 movies on this list, we would be here until 6 o'clock a.m. In the morning. It already takes me long enough to get through the 16. Never seen Remember the Titans. Well, do yourself a favor, Cal-El, and go watch Remember the Titans. I must have watched Remember the Titans like 85 times in school. Like that's the only movie they would play when I was in middle school. Like when there was downtime or like study hall or whatever, they'd pop on like Remember the Titans. And it was like around 2000, 2001. So I watched the movie a lot in school. It's a good movie, but I can only watch it so many times. Yeah, John Q is a good movie for what I remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into just what I watched in the month of April. We'll kind of run through this kind of quick. And if you guys want to share everything you watched, if you can remember it for the month of April, feel free to do so. All right, let's see. So yeah, like I said, I watched I think 14 different things. There's some TV shows in here as well because they let me put The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but they didn't let me put the TV show Them on here. So I'm assuming maybe it'll have a second season or something because I watched that too. But starting off the month, I watched Extract, which is a Mike Judge movie, the same guy that directed Office Space and Idiocracy. This is a fun movie. I don't love it like I do some of the other like mid to late 2000s comedies, but it's a fun movie with Jason Bateman. I do enjoy watching it. It's got Ben Affleck in it, acting like a weird stoner type character. Yeah, this is just one of those movies that I pop on like right before I go to bed and I fall asleep to it. So yeah, I enjoy the movie. And Mila Kunis is in it as well. So and J.K. Simmons actually has a really good cast. J.K. Simmons, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Kristen Wiig, and Mila Kunis. That's actually a really stunning cast. Then you got Scarface, and I love Scarface. Gave it a 5 out of a 5. Thought it was damn near perfect. We got a review up on the channel. Check it out. And then I was in a 1983 movie or mood, and I followed that up with Tom Cruise, but another guy you could easily do a tournament battle with. So Risky Business right there was my third watch of the month, and I thought it was okay. It was fun. It was kind of like a more mature version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, only with like prostitutes. Unhinged was my fourth watch of the month, and I gave it 4 stars. I don't know why people thought this was mediocre when it came out last year. Maybe it's because it was the first movie that came back in the theaters and people were expecting more. I thought this movie was so much fun and just brought all those like slasher feels. slasher action. And Russell Crowe is freaking great in this movie as this kind of unhinged, like villainous type character. Like when he does that little horn honk thing in the window, like I was busting out laughing. I don't know. I think that movie's super fun, and I think it's underrated, and I think you should go check it out and don't listen to the critics. Watch it on Amazon Prime. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. I really enjoyed this one too. I thought this was a really fun comedy, and we don't get a lot of those anymore. So I gave it 4 stars because it was a good comedy, and I respected it for that. Bride of Scarecrow. If you watch my Dollar Tree Movie Diaries video, I gave it a 1 star. I probably could have went with a half star, but I gave it a 1 star because I got an entertaining video out of it that you guys seem to enjoy, but I did not enjoy watching that movie at all. Zombie Flesh Eaters, otherwise known as Zombie, from Lucio Fulci. Really enjoyed this movie. Gave it a 4.5 out of a 5. That is one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. Maybe my second favorite behind Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Really love that one. Donnie Darko. And some of these are a little bit out of order, but Donnie Darko, gave it a 2.5 out of a 5. Reviewed that last week, so definitely go check that out. That was disappointing, to say the least. So we got the new Mortal Kombat, which I gave a 3. It was fun. It was fine. Me and 4K D-Ray reviewed it on the channel last week, so you can go check that out if you want to see my full thoughts. And then the 1995 Mortal Kombat, I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So that one I gave a little bit more than the new Mortal Kombat because of nostalgia reasons, and I do think it has a little bit more charm and charisma than the first one did. Then we got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, rated the whole season 4 stars. Again, we reviewed that last week on the channel. Go check out that episode that I did with 4K D-Ray or 4K Corner last week. The Jungle Book. I watched this. I was booting up Disney Plus, and my daughter was sitting there. We were kind of scrolling around, and I was like, "You want to watch The Jungle Book?" And she said yes, which she rarely agrees to watching anything that I want to watch. And I watched The Jungle Book for the first time since probably 2016, and it's absolutely fantastic. Loved it. Very pleasant movie. Probably the best live action Disney movie that there is, to be honest. It's way better than the 2019 Lion King. I know that. Spontaneous. I gave it a 3.5. It was a fun kind of horror teen angst. I don't know. It felt like a YA novel type movie, but like with a tinge of horror and a little bit of coming of age, a little bit of high school. I don't know. It was an interesting movie. It definitely had a really unique concept to it. So The Mitchells versus the Machines, I watched with my family on Friday, and that's probably the best Netflix original movie that has come out in like, I don't know, 6 months. But it's really good. It's made by the same people that did Spider-Verse, Cloudy with a Chance at Meatballs, the Lego movies. It has that same type of animation style as Cloudy with a Chance at Meatballs. It's kind of like this sci-fi utopian type movie about a family that's like the last living family on the earth after it gets taken over by robots. Really fun story, really fun family dynamic, with a surprisingly good amount of heart to it. So I enjoy The Mitchells versus the Machines quite a bit. Gave it a 4 out of a 5. So that is everything that I watched in the month of April. So there you guys have it. Let's see if anybody else put anything in the chat. Didn't realize he had 60. Wow. Are you a fan of GTA 5? My family video would have remembered the Titans on repeats. Okay. All right. So are you guys ready for the Denzel Washington movie tournament? All right. So we're about 40 minutes in, and I don't think I've asked anybody to like the video yet. So if you haven't yet liked this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm still going. I know. Oh, I had other comments that I didn't see because they got phased out. Chris said, my local family video closed and I really care. I don't rent movies anymore. You accidentally gave Bride of Scarecrow only 1 star. No, that wasn't an accident. I probably should have gave it a 0. Cal L. Daly says, watched Ginger Snaps last night. Haven't seen it in over 15 years. LOL, watched Irishman, Monster Party, Run, Hide, Run, Doom Patrol Season 2, Black Christmas 1974, and was disappointed Black Xmas 2005. Yeah, I've never seen the Black Christmas 2005. And I haven't seen Ginger Snaps in a while, but it's a pretty good werewolf movie. Pretty decent. I don't rent, but I buy and family videos sold, new release, more there. I miss them. I watched 30 movies in April. Awesome. That's a good chunk of movies. Tiana Loves Movie says I should get Letterboxd. You absolutely should. I mean, it doesn't cost anything, at least the one I have. I got the free version. But it's definitely a cool thing to keep track of. Like, I don't do like full reviews on there or anything. But I will put like my quick thoughts on a movie. Sometimes I'll put like more in-depth reviews on there, but most of the time it's just my quick thoughts. Maybe that's something I'll get next year. You don't have to wait till next year. You can get it right now, Tiana. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. Cal Adeli says, maybe I should do a Letterboxd. It's just hard to rate a movie because on the second or third watch, the rating changes sometimes. Well, that's a good thing about Letterboxd is you can actually go in there and change your rating. You can change your rating anytime you want. I watched Peanut Butter Falcon, Honest Thief last night. Peanut Butter Falcon is incredible. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of 2019. Shia LaBeouf gives a freaking amazing performance. Zach, I forget it. I know his first name, the kid with Down syndrome, Zach. I forget his last name, but he's freaking awesome. And I just love their dynamic and chemistry with each other. I love that movie. It's just such a heartwarming, feel-good movie. Sometimes you just need feel-good movies, and that's one of them. Tiana Loves Movies with the super chat. Thank you so much, Tiana. We appreciate that. Let's do this. Like this video and give some love. Well, yeah, what she said. Definitely would appreciate a like, guys, if you can. If you haven't already, definitely hit that like button. All right, so guys, so let's get into this. Like all the tournament battles, this is a 8-round start. We're starting with the 8 rounds with 16 movies. We'll vote on each one of them. The winners of each round will move on to the next round, which we will vote on all of those. And then, we'll get down to 4, then we'll get down to 2, and then we'll decide a winner from there. So I pitted these two together. Some of them I felt like they were in like similar categories. I put like genres together. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know, randomness sometimes because I didn't think they were that much alike, but I put them together anyway. But let's go ahead and share this first one, which I think I might have already accidentally did. All right. Boom. All right. Can you guys see that? Malcolm X versus Philadelphia. Malcolm X versus Philadelphia. So this is more of like Denzel's earlier kind of Oscar run career, I would say, where he was really just killing it with these prestigious roles. And this is where I think most of the world really started to take notice of Denzel Washington as one of the best actors of all time, for sure. Did Malcolm X in 1992, did Philadelphia in 1993. So it was kind of like a 1-2 punch right there. But definitely for me, Philadelphia is a good film. I'm not going to say great. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. But it does have Tom Hanks in it. I believe that is the only time that Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington were in a movie together, but I could be wrong. So that's actually pretty historic. The fact that they were both in a movie, two of the best actors, arguably the two best actors from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, last 40 years were in the same movie together. So it has to be notable just for that. Malcolm X is a stunning film. It is Spike Lee's best film, in my opinion. I really love Do the Right Thing, but Malcolm X is probably his best movie. And yeah, it's a great movie. So I would vote for Malcolm X over Philadelphia. And yeah, it's not really that difficult for me right there. So let's see what you guys are saying. Looking like Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Malcolm X. We got one Philadelphia from Bill Tyrell. I need to see Philadelphia again, though, for real. 4KD Reese says X. Mr. Rigby says Philadelphia. Another Philadelphia. Malcolm X for the win. There might be the WTOW Best Actors. Wow. Yes. So right now it looks like Malcolm X is taking it unless we get another vote. If anybody else that hasn't voted yet wants to vote, I'll give you 10 seconds. And 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So Side Hustle Cinema also voted for Malcolm X. So let's move on to the next one. And what do we got? We've got Glory versus Crimson Tide. Kind of very different war type movies, but kind of like your war category right here. With Glory, of course, set during the Civil War, and then you got Crimson Tide, which is more modern warfare. But Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman, again, two great powerhouse actors in the same film together, two of arguably the best of all time. But then in Glory, you got Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington also. So Glory is a movie that I have only seen one time, and I think I saw it in middle school. It was like they showed it in one of my history classes, I believe, or it was just like in the library or something. I remember liking the movie, but to be honest, I was probably too young to really appreciate it, so I need to revisit that one at some point. Crimson Tide is a stunning film. It's a great movie. So I would probably go with Crimson Tide because I don't have the best memory of Glory. But it also has Matthew Broderick in it, which I don't see him delivering a great prestigious role. I don't know. That's Ferris Bueller, and he was in a serious war movie. It just doesn't compute in my brain. I guess he did all right. Crimson Tide, says Anthony Mastrani. Glory, glory, glory. 3 glories, 2 Crimson Tides, 4 glories, 3 Crimson Tides, 4 Crimson Tides, 5 Crimson Tides. He said, lied, change my vote to Glory. I also love Carrie Elwes. Carrie Elwes in that movie too? Glory, glory. Looks like Glory's getting ready to take it, guys. We got 1 for Crimson Tide, 2 for Crimson Tide, 3 for Crimson Tide, 4 for Crimson Tide. But hold on, Bill changed his. All right, so I think based on that, and I got to write this stuff down. So Malcolm X won the first round, and it looks like Glory is winning the second round. So that's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. All right, so let's do the next one, guys. What have we got? Boom. Fences versus the Book of Eli. Fences versus the Book of Eli. Couldn't be any two different films. But yeah, Fences versus the Book of Eli. Let's see. Glory is Denzel's first Oscar win. I would go Fences here. I think that Fences is incredible. It might be my favorite Denzel Washington performance. It probably is my favorite Viola Davis performance. That movie was just extremely powerful, just on every level. I know some people have issues with movies that feel they don't feel cinematic like they feel, because Fences was a play and it feels like a play in cinematic form. But I don't have an issue with that. I loved Ma Rainey's Black Bottom because of that. I just like that style of film. It's just like all character, and it just feels like it was made in a day. And you can just really engage and just get into these characters. And yeah, I thought Denzel was phenomenal in this movie, and he was robbed of the Oscar that year. He was absolutely robbed of the Oscar. He should have won. Casey Affleck won for Manchester by the Sea, and I am not the biggest Manchester by the Sea fan. I think that movie is extremely manipulative with how it kind of toys with your emotions. So Denzel absolutely should have beat Casey Affleck that year for the Oscar, and he would have had another Oscar to his name. So The Book of Eli is a good post-apocalyptic thriller. It is a good film. It is not a great film like Fences is. So Fences is also an Academy Award nominated for Best Picture. In a year that Moonlight won, La La Land was nominated, Lion. So many great films was nominated that year. All right, well, let's see what you guys are saying. Book of Eli, period. Fences for the win. Book of Eli. Fences. 4K saying Eli. So we got 3 for Eli, 2 for Fences, 4 for Eli, 3 for Fences, 5 for Eli, 4 for Fences, 6 for Eli. Eli. 7 for Eli. Fences was made and written about in my hometown, but Book of Eli. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to have to go back and recount again. Book of Eli's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Fences has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 7 for Eli and 6 for Fences. So I knew that this was probably going to happen. Kind of saw that one coming. But Fences is great. If you haven't seen Fences, go watch Fences. It's a great movie. But Book of Eli will move on to the next round. And if we ever do have a tie, guys, then I will be the deciding tiebreaker, just to let you guys know. All right, let's go to our next one. Boom. American Gangster versus Man on Fire. The Battle of the Scots. The Battle of the Scots. Great Scott. Tony Scott versus Ridley Scott. Man on Fire versus American Gangster. So I have not seen American Gangster. That's one of the Denzel movies that I have not seen. I've seen Man on Fire, and I think Man on Fire is great. And it's another example of why Tony Scott is extremely underrated, and he's better than Ridley Scott. But again, how can I say that when I haven't seen American Gangster, which is a Ridley Scott film? I don't know. I just can't. I still think Tony Scott's super underrated. You know, you got Top Gun, you got True Romance, you got Enemy of the State, Man on Fire, just so many great films by Tony Scott. And I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. So I'm going Man on Fire here. What are you guys doing? What do you got? I do need to watch American Gangster, though. It does have a 4K. Maybe I need to look and see how cheap that is. Maybe buy it and watch it, because I do need to see it. Let's see. Aspis is here. He says, hey, mid-level media. Nice tease there. By the way, can I have a request for you? Can you show the full design t-shirt you wear now with standing? Oh, this guy again? I did not realize it was this guy. Yeah, sure. In a second. I'm doing a tournament right now, man. I'm kind of busy. Hold on. I'll show you like the sidebar though. It just says Pulp Fiction, man. It just says it's the whole design. That's it. That's all there is. 4K D says, oh boy. Damn, this is a tough one. American Gangster, easy. 1 for American Gangster. 2 for American Gangster. 3 for American Gangster, 4 for American Gangster, 5 for American Gangster, 6 for American Gangster, 7 for American Gangster, 8 for American Gangster, 9 for American Gangster. Cal Daly says, Ken, please watch American Gangster, dude. It's awesome. It probably is. And it'll probably shut me up when I say Ridley Scott's not a good director. 1 for Man on Fire, 2 for Man on Fire, 3 for Man on Fire, 4 for Man on Fire. What's up, Culture Trini? Good to have you in here, man. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that is it. Ugh, I'll go American Gangster. Love Man on Fire, though. Yeah, American Gangster, guys. American Gangster wins this round. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I figured that Man of Fire would have more widespread appeal. I feel like that was the bigger movie of the two. Maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like that one got more buzz when it was out. But again, maybe I'm wrong because I often am. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. John Q versus He Got Game. So again, I have not seen He Got Game. That's the other one on my list that I haven't seen. John Q is an excellent movie. An excellent movie. Very impactful movie, very powerful movie, very powerful performance by Denzel Washington. But if you guys want to tell me that He Got Game is the better movie, who am I to argue because I have not seen it? But I would go with John Q, obviously, because I haven't seen He Got Game. Uh, but yeah, what do you guys say? What do you guys say? I need to watch John Q again, though. I need to watch that again. I need to watch a lot of movies again. I just need to take a week off and just watch like 20 movies. And I was still not even scratch the surface of what I need to watch. He Got Game. Wow, the toughest. John Q. He Got Game. John Q. Crying, crying, crying. John Q. Again. All right. Baked Potato Joe Biden is in the house. He Got Game. So that's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. Nope, nope. That's 7. Eddie S. What's up, Eddie? Eddie S says 7 for John Q. So John Q's got 7 right now. Right? Is that the one I voted for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 for He Got Game. Let's go back up and do the John Q's again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, right now it's 7-7. Right now it's 7-7. And I'm sweating over here, Ken. Better performance than John Q. Is that your first vote, Kay? If that was the first time you voted, then John Q wins. I'm sweating. Better performance than John Q. All right, so you're saying that you voted for John Q. So if you're saying you vote for John Q wins. But to be honest, if it's a tie, I break the tie anyway. John Q is moving on. Well, we got another one. He Got Game. I think this was Kay's first vote, though, for John Q. And if that's his first vote for John Q, then your vote ties it up. But then Nitram Jerva says John Q. So he, again, and I vote for John Q too. So John Q is moving on to the next round. Oh, yeah. All right. So the next one. The next one. Oh, yeah. This is the round right here. This is my round. This is my favorite one. Fallen versus the Bone Collector. I love both of these movies, and it's been too damn long since I've seen Fallen. Great John Goodman performance in that movie too. But again, I've watched Bone Collector way more, and it's it's got 4KD Ray's favorite actress of all time, Angelina Jolie. And yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. When I was stunned to realize, and this happens to me all the time, just like movies I thought were great when I was growing up, I'll go look up the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's like ridiculously low. And let me look up this damn score. I'll just look it up on my phone. It's like ridiculously low for the Bone Collector, and I have no idea why. Because the Bone Collector is freaking amazing. The trailer was amazing. Like as soon as I saw the trailer for that movie, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in." Like the girl just gets in the taxi cab, freaking locks, takes off. It's amazing. 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. How does The Bone Collector have a freaking, well, y'all can't even see that, have a freaking 29% on Rotten Tomatoes? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Am I like remembering that movie wrong? I mean, it's probably been like 10 years since I've seen it, but I've seen it a bunch. Another fun fact about The Bone Collector, it's got Al Bundy in it. It's got Ed Helms. Or not Ed Helms. Ed, is that his name? I think that's his name. 40% on the Rotten Tomatoes for Fallen. 40% for Fallen. So that's a little bit higher. Yeah, don't trust Rotten Tomatoes scores. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to them that much anymore. When a new movie comes out, I'm not even looking at the Rotten Tomatoes. I used to be kind of obsessed with that. I would get on there and just like look at the Rotten Tomatoes. What did the movie get? What did the movie get? Because I felt like I had to validate my opinion based on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's like, I just don't even do that anymore. I don't even look at it. I just watch a movie for what it is and move on. Cal Daly says, Fallen. What the heck, Ken? Bone Collector, Bone Collector. 3 for Bone Collector. 4 for Bone Collector. 5 for Bone Collector. 6 for Bone Collector. 7 for Bone Collector. 8 for Bone Collector. 9 for Bone Collector. 10 for Bone Collector. Yeah, well, Bone Collector's got 10. Let's see what Fallen's got. Nurture did Bone Collector 2. Oh, Ed O'Neill. Yeah, Ed O'Neill. Yeah, Ed Helm is The Office, right? Isn't that Andy from The Office? 4 touchdowns in 1 game. That's all right. 4 touchdowns in a single game. There you go. Back. Put my hand in my pants. Al Bundy. Nothing's better than Al Bundy. Love Al Bundy. All right, so the Bone Collector got 11, and we got 1 for Fallen. We got 2 for Fallen. We got 3 for Fallen. 4 for Fallen. I've never seen Fallen. Better write that on the list. Yeah, 3 for Fallen. Fallen is sort of like Shocker, and you've seen the movie, Tiana. I haven't seen Shocker, but now I want to watch Shocker. So yeah, it looks like a landslide for the Bone Collector, and I can't say that I'm disappointed in that decision because the Bone Collector is amazing. I love that movie. All right, so let's go on to the next one. We've got at least one more like banger. Actually, no, 2. Never mind. I forgot. Everybody's favorite hasn't been done yet. Yeah, we got 2 more hard rounds coming up. All right, Remember the Titans versus the Hurricane. So both of these came out around the same time. The Hurricane was 1999. Remember the Titans was 2000. Both historical. Was Remember the Titans actually based on a true story? For some reason, I feel like it is. I know the Hurricane is. But yeah, these are both. I just remember both of these movies, just watching them a lot back when they first came out. Like I said, these 2, The Bone Collectors, probably my most watched Denzel movies ever. Probably seen them more times than any others. I like Remember the Titans a lot, but again, I had to watch it like 85 times in school, so I always associate it with like school and not having fun. The Hurricane I watched on my own, and I loved it every time I watched it. Just something about that movie, so I would pick the Hurricane. I would pick the Hurricane, and it was not that hard. Y'all sleeping on Fallen, but Bone Collector is awesome too. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes agrees with you, Kal-El. Fallen was better than the Bone Collector, so I'm not sleeping on Fallen. I love Fallen. Fallen's a good one. I need to watch that one again. Fallen is a good one. So Kal-El coming in with the first vote of the Hurricane. I've never seen Shocker, but I got it on the list. She is adding movies to her list like a mad woman tonight. Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans. 3 for Remember the Titans. 4 for Remember the Titans. I mean, it's not going to be surprising if Remember the Titans wins. I mean, that's the way more popular movie, I would say. Did you mean Remember the Titans? Is that Remember the Titans? Let me know, Sydney. Is that Remember the Titans? RIT? Titans. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So 1 for Cal L, 2 for Sydney Eubanks, 3, 4. Yeah, it's looking like Titans, but you say that we're sleeping on Fallen. I think that you guys are sleeping on the Hurricane. If you have not seen the Hurricane for some reason, definitely go check out that movie. Definitely go check out the Hurricane. But I will put Remember the Titans on this list because you guys said so. And this is your all's tournament. You guys voted for it. You voted for one of the movies. And you guys should get what you want. So Remember the Titans moves on to the next round. All right, so here we go, guys. Are you guys ready for this next round? You guys probably know one of them, but can you guess the other one? Which one have we not seen yet? Boom. Training Day versus the Equalizer. The Equalizer's good. It's a good action flick. It's not better than Training Day. So while I wouldn't put Training Day as winning this tournament, that would not be my pick for best Denzel movie. But you guys have already knocked out a couple of those any day. Anyway, but Training Day is obviously better than the Equalizer, but I don't know. Some people might pick the Equalizer. Who knows? The ball is in your all's court. Training Day. Lots of training days. Seeing 1, 2, 3. Training Day. 1, 2, Equalizer. 3 Equalizers. So yeah, we got 3 Equalizers versus like 12 Training Days. So not fair for the Equalizer to go up against this. Would it have been fair for anything to go up against Training Day? I guess we'll find out soon, but I don't know. I just think Training Day is just one of those movies that everybody's going to pick. Everybody's going to pick for Denzel's best movie. That's the juggernaut. But I want to see if maybe a Book of Eli can come out on top against Training Day. Maybe a Bone Collector. Maybe a John Q. Possibly a Malcolm X. Can somebody take down the beast that is Training Day? We will find out. Got Training Day moves on. And we're going to find out pretty quick because I'm going to have to get rid of this because I don't have any more graphics because that's all I had made up. But yeah, we're going to find out quick because the next round, guys, we'll see what you guys are saying. Training Day, but depends how I'm feeling. Got to go with Book of Eli. Yeah, the next round is going to be Remember the Titans versus Training Day. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Remember the Titans versus Training Day. And these movies, what year did Training Day come out? And Home Movies Collection just pointed out a fun fact. That is very true. Equalizer 2 is the only sequel Denzel has ever done. Exactly. He is not a franchise guy. And if you look back at his filmography, he's not really a big blockbuster kind of guy. Like he's never really done those big blockbuster movies that just like pop at the box office. Like his movies have always done really well, but he's always just been the leading man. That's kind of his name alone has sold his movie. And that's in and of itself impressive. To be an actor like that, to not have to rely on something else carrying you or a studio or a franchise carrying your name. Like he's carried his own name since the 80s. And how many actors can you really point to that's done that? Maybe Tom Hanks. It's like it. All right, so remember the Titans. I thought this was going to be a little bit harder for you guys, but it looks like you guys are going Training Day all over again. Training Day, Training Day, Training Day. Remember the Titans. Training Day. Millhouse is Remember the Titans. Training Day, Training Day. Jared Runner says, hello. Have you seen Training Day, Jared Runner? Or Remember the Titans? If you had, vote now. Training Day is better than Titans. Titans. Training Day, Training Day. He's an actor of substance. I agree. Sydney Eubank says, Ken, his acting is what takes Denzel to the top of the mountain. Exactly. I mean, it has since the 80s. Withstand 4 decades. All right, guys. Training Day took out Titans very quickly. Very quickly. I thought it'd put up a little bit more of a fight than that. I thought it would put up a little bit more of a fight than that, but yeah, it did not. All right, so this is going to be hard for me because I really don't want this to happen, but let's go the Bone Collector versus John Q. Let's go the Bone Collector versus John Q. And I'm interested to see what 4K D-Ray says on this one because I don't think he can vote against Angelina Jolie, but he also loves John Q. So this is going to be a very hard one for you, 4K. Going to be a very hard one for you, but you've already voted. It wasn't that hard, I guess. Bone Collector. You can't go against Angelina Jolie. And this is my favorite Angelina Jolie movie, by the way. I think she's great in this movie. And it's probably one of the first movies I've ever seen her in, to be honest. In 1998, that was probably around the time she popped. I don't feel like she really like popped as an actress until like Gone in 60 Seconds. And then she did Tomb Raider. That's when she kind of blew up as a big like mainstream actress. So when she did The Bone Collector, she was a little bit more like smaller scale in the industry. Like she wasn't as popular as she was when she did those later movies. So it was cool to kind of see her back in when she was kind of earning her stripes, you know. And I think Bone Collector was one of the first movies that she did that in. And she's great in the movie. Really great in the movie. I mean, the movie kind of, I mean, Denzel's the star of the movie, but it really revolves around her because she has to do a lot of the lifting. She's the one that has to go out and do all the investigation work while Denzel's, paralyzed. Let's see. Bone Collector. 1, 2, 3 for the Bone Collector. 4 for the Bone Collector. 5 for the Bone Collector. 6 for the Bone Collector. 7 for the Bone Collector. You got 7 for the Bone Collector. This one's going to be a little bit more of a tough match. I'm glad to see it. John Q. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now, the Bone Collector is winning. The Bone Collector is winning. Tony Movie Chappie says, hey, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Well, Tony, at this point, you've missed quite a bit. But we are voting on Denzel Washington movies. And right now it's between the Bone Collector and John Q. John said Training Day. Well, Training Day is not an option anymore, man. It will be later because it moved on. John Q. Oh, no. We got 2 more John Qs. I'm about to go back and recount. Girl Interrupted and Bone Collector was her best. Waiting on her one on HBO Max. Is that going to be on HBO Max? I didn't know her new movie was going to be on HBO Max. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so 8 for the Bone Collector we got right now. 8 for the Bone Collector. And we got 1, 2 for John Q. 3 for John Q. 4 for John Q. 5 for John Q. 6 for John Q. 7 for John Q. 8 for John Q. All right, it's a tie. 8, 8, 8, 8. Is anybody going to vote? Is anybody else going to vote that has not voted yet? Going once, going twice. All right, the Bone Collector moves on because 8-8, I'm voting for the Bone Collector. So, Bone Collector, what a surprising turn of events. What a surprising turn of events for the Bone Collector to make it to the top four. To the top four. Okay, so the next round, guys, we are going American Gangster versus the Book of Eli. For me, it's easy. Haven't seen American Gangster, so I will be going Book of Eli. But I imagine that you guys are going to be going a little bit differently because something tells me that American Gangster is just a little bit more of a prestigious film that's more worthy of votes than the Book of Eli. But I don't know. There could be some that vote for Book of Eli. I know a couple people said it was one of their favorites. Kay says American Gangster all day. All day for that American Gangster. 3. And let's do 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I need to watch American Gangster. All right, so 6 for American Gangster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for Book of Eli so far. Five for Book of Eli, and then you got American Gangster with 6. Anybody else voting? Anybody else voting? Going once, going twice. American Gangster makes it to the next round. American Gangster makes it to the next round. And we got another American Gangster by Baked Potato, Joe Biden. What? All right, so let's go to the final matchup of this round. We have got Malcolm X versus Glory. Now, this one is probably going to be a little bit tough. These are the two big early Denzel Oscar movies. Like I said, and yeah, I know a lot of people love both of these movies. One of these movies to me is his best performance. It's probably my favorite movie that he's done. And one of them is a good historical war drama. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for sure. I can see people being a little bit conflicted with this one. We already got a Malcolm X. I'm mad. LOL. Book of Eli. It's okay, Kilo. It's okay. X. 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 Got a bunch of X's. Malcolm X is a great film. It's a great film. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so you got 9 for Malcolm X. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for Glory. 4 for Glory. Yeah, I kind of saw this coming. So Malcolm X will be moving on to the next round, and now we go into Malcolm X versus American Gangster. Now, for me, it's Malcolm X. Does American Gangster have a shot at being Malcolm X here? I don't know. You guys, I guess more surprising things have happened, but I think I kind of see this tournament going a certain way. And I think I know what the last two movies are going to be based on these two rounds coming up. But I'm interested if you guys throw a curveball at me. I know what I would want to see because I still got 2 of my favorite Denzel Washington movies in the top 4. But I don't know. I kind of think I know where it's going. I know where it's going. Let's see what you guys got. Let's see. American Gangster. 2 for American Gangster. Let's see. 3 for American Gangster. 4 for American Gangster. 5 for American Gangster. Would you guys knock out a favorite like Malcolm X in the second to final round? I can't believe it. It's craziness. 1, 2, 3, 4. No respect for Malcolm X. 5, 6, 7. Jesus. I didn't see this one coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 7 right now. Andrew Fields says American Gangster is not a better movie. I can't even comment. I've never seen it, so I can tell you. American Gangster is not a better movie. Baked Potato Joe Biden, is that your vote for? No, he did Malcolm X. Baked Potato Joe Biden said Malcolm X, so he tied it up at 7-7 right now. If nobody else votes for American Gangster, Malcolm X is moving on because I will break the tie and vote for Malcolm X. So if anybody that hasn't voted yet and wants to vote for American Gangster, go ahead. Come on, guys. Spike Lee is mad now. He's definitely mad. Cal Daly says Malcolm X better film, but I liked American Gangster better. That's fair. That's fair. Red 4K says American Gangster is fantastic. Is that your vote for American Gangster? Because it is. Then American Gangster wins. American Gangster wins. But American Gangster is a better. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I can't imagine that movie's better. Malcolm X is like Denzel leading that damn movie for like 3 hours straight. Like he at least has Russell Crowe to play off of an American Gangster, but Malcolm X, it is all him. It's all him, and I'll always give more credit to the actor in his performance when they're the ones that's actually carrying the entire movie with like little to no support. Same thing with Tom Hanks in Castaway. It's like that's why that's my favorite Tom Hanks movie. He just carries that entire film by himself. But all right, we'll go American Gangster. Sure, why not? Why not take Ridley Scott all the way to the top? All right, so you guys are about ready to break my heart and vote against one of my childhood favorite movies ever, The Bone Collector versus Training Day. Let's see. Dude, you got to see American Gangster. I guess I do. Shit. Is it on streaming? Denzel's performance as Malcolm X is the best biopic performance in film history. I agree. I absolutely agree. If Rev likes something, it must be really good. Yeah. Unless it's Bride of Chucky. Let's see. I don't know. Rev, he has some hot takes over the weekend. He had some real hot takes over the weekend. I don't even know if I want to bring them up right now. About some horror movies. About Psycho being overrated. Said freaking, what else do you say was overrated? I know you said Psycho. And The Thing, come on, man. Come on. Psycho and The Thing, overrated? Hell no. Hell no. Ridley Scott, baby. Ridley Scott's overrated. Congo Chalupa said, didn't think American Gangster was that great, honestly. Well, there you go. Chongo didn't think it was that great. But what y'all got to say about that? Training Day versus The Bone Collector. Is anybody going to vote for Bone Collector? Is anybody going to back me up here? Come on now. Get out of here with your Training Day. Bone Collector, man. It's a great movie. Oh, shit. AG is more watchable, but Malcolm X is a better film. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I understand the distinction between best and favorite. I mean, It is what it is. Training Day. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, 4K. Thank you. I know you're only voting for it because it's got Angelina in it, but thank you. Appreciate that. Training Day, TKO. Training Day. We got another Bone Collector. Woo! Training Day. Maybe the sad death scene of Malcolm X makes me take AG over it. Yeah, it was. It was pretty sad. I take Bates Motel TV series over it. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. It's like a CW show. Come on. It's all right. I didn't finish it. I think I got like 2 seasons in. Like I said, Psycho is put on a pedestal because it's a classic, still a boring, but it is not boring. It's so freaking engaging. I love that movie. I love it. Such interesting direction. It's scary. It's still scary. The movie's eerie. I watched it last year in 4K with all the lights off, with the score blaring. I don't know, man. I love everything about that movie. I don't get how anybody says that movie's boring. Completely. Even the parts that I thought were gonna be slower, that I didn't enjoy as much because it's been a few years since I watched it. I enjoyed, like, because everybody says that it's not as good after the shower scene, which I used to agree with, but I was still like completely locked into the movie from that moment on. I mean, Anthony Perkins is just freaking phenomenal in that film. Janet Leigh is freaking phenomenal in that film. The scene with them two in the freaking office just eating is just so incredibly tense. And I love it. I love that movie so much. Joyce Jones, Bone Collector. Yee-hoo! Another Bone Collector. Hell yeah. Bates Motel was awesome. Training Day. You got the man cussing. You can't talk about Psycho, man. That's my number 11. No, number 12. I think it's 12. I think that's my 12th favorite movie of all time. It's Psycho. It's my number 4 horror movie of all time. American Gangster. King Kong ain't got she on me. I wish you could see my face while you're explaining your love for Psycho. Yeah. I wish I could too. Bates Motel needs respect. I like the Psycho 4 better than the original, but Psycho deserves its iconic respect. Psycho 4 is good. I like Psycho 4. I'm putting hits out on all you collectors who didn't vote Bone Collector. I know, man. They should all, everybody who didn't vote for Bone Collector should all get locked on a taxi and taken out to the freaking warehouse by the Hudson River and just have all their bones cut out, put on display. That's what I'm saying right here now. But Training Day takes it. Training Day takes it. And now we go with, in my opinion, one of the most boring finales that I've ever had for a tournament battle. American Gangster versus Training Day. You guys decide. Obviously, I'm going Training Day. I haven't seen American Gangster. Again, haven't seen American Gangster. But yeah, while you guys are voting, let's just think about the dream matches that we could have had in this finale. You know, we could have had Malcolm X versus Remember the Titans. That would have been incredible. We could have had the Bone Collector versus the Book of Eli. That would have been awesome. That would have been completely awesome. We could have had John Q versus Glory. That would have been epic. Completely epic. But we got American Gangster versus Training Day. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, what are y'all going with here? Were y'all going to upset Training Day? Y'all going to take Training Day all the way home? You know, somebody predicted this was going to happen. Somebody predicted this. Tiana Loves Movies says, she is flabbergasted. Rev 4K says, whoever doesn't vote Training Day going to be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. Training Day. American Gangster. I want to see Training Day lose. He's just being a contrarian. American Gangster. Rev 4K. Training Day. American Gangster. I think it was Side Hustle Cinema that said everybody's just going to vote for Training Day. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it until he brought that up, and I was like, "You're probably right. You're probably right." But I was just thinking about the Bone Collector. We could have had the freaking Hurricane versus Fences. That would have been epic. I would have loved that. Training Day, Training Day, Training Day, Training Day. Malcolm X easily beats Titans. Yeah, I would have. Training Day, Matt Damon was up for Ethan Hawke parts. Matt Damon. Training Day for me. I run shit here. You just live here. Malcolm X is still Denzel's best, in my opinion. I agree. This man said Hurricane and Fences is better than AG versus Training Day. I like them better. What can I say? I don't know. I like the dramas. What can I say? Ken, you should have part 2 since he has so many movies, then vote on who wins out of both winners. Yeah, I don't know though. What would I put in part 2? There's some good movies I would put in part 2, but there's nothing if I would have known I was going to do a part 2, I would have saved some of his heavy hitters like Malcolm X or Glory or some of the other ones. I don't know if I could do a part 2 based on like his lower tier films. Plus there's just so many other actors and stuff that we can do. I kind of want to explore somebody else's filmography. And I was also thinking about like maybe directors too. Like a Spielberg tournament battle would be awesome, or like a Kubrick or I don't know, Zemeckis or something. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Ken, you should have part 2 since he has so many. I already read that. Man on Fire versus Inside Man. Yeah, the Inside Man was on the voting today, but people did not vote for that. Flight needs to be added. So yeah, I would have to also see all these movies before I did a part 2 because I only felt confident enough to talk about this group of movies. Courage Under Fire is underrated in my opinion. Yeah, somebody mentioned that one too. I put that on the voting today, I'm pretty sure. Virtuosity versus Magnificent Seven, LOL. Yeah, I've seen Magnificent Seven, but I didn't think that was good enough to put on here. Will Smith tournament next. I would love a Will Smith tournament. I was actually kind of pulling for that one because I felt like the battles would have been a little bit better and more interesting because he's got a good mix of like blockbusters and dramas and comedies. And I would have enjoyed a Will Smith tournament battle. That would have been fun. Fences better than American Gangster and Training Day. Send the Bone Collector to 4K, Rev. I hope it gets a 4K. Yes, Spielberg would be great. Oh my God, Courage Under Fire is underrated. Isn't it Meg Ryan in that movie too? Equalizer 2, Flight, Deja Vu, Preacher's Wife, Magnificent Seven could all be debated. All right, so it's Training Day, right? Training Day wins. Yay! Training Day. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have saw it coming? So Training Day is the winner of the Denzel Washington movie battle. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. And yeah, we're going to read a little bit more. If anybody has anything else to say about the winner of the tournament, about Denzel's filmography, about what other actors they would like to see next, directors, actresses, genres, maybe 16 horror movies. I don't know. That would be very tough to pick. I would have to do like 64 movies and like do brackets and voting for all of them. Today, I just watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hatchet for the first time. One is great and one's okay. So I don't know. What do you think of those? Which one do you think was better? I can see seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time being like, what was that? Why is that a classic? It took me a couple watches to really get into that movie. I think that the 2003 one's just way more accessible. But Hatchet's fun. It's very exaggerated horror, but it's fun. It's more like a horror comedy, really, which I'm not a big fan of. But Chongo Chalupa said, The Siege, The Mighty Quinn for Queen and Country, other great Denzel performances. Huckbone says, maybe a Harrison Ford tourney, but omit all Star Wars and indie movies so we don't end up with Star Wars versus Raiders. Or I would just do only one film from each one, like I did with. I feel like I did that with somebody else. I can't remember what I did. The video game battle, I didn't put all the sequels for each franchise because I wanted to have a nice different range of picks. But yeah, Harrison Ford tourney would be awesome. Definitely got lots of good picks. Book of Eli is the winner to me. Have you done Keanu Reeves tourney? I have not. So this is only the second actor tournament I did. The first one I did was Leonardo DiCaprio. Robert De Niro would be great. Let's see, he would. That would be a good mix of movies too. We should do a female actress one. We absolutely should. I'm trying to think of a good one. I would love to do like trying to think, maybe an Angelina Jolie one, but maybe Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan might be a good one. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of an actress like you wouldn't think about. Like Meryl Streep, everybody says the greatest actress of all time, but I don't think I'd want to do a tournament battle of Meryl Streep movies. I'm trying to think of a really good one that has a good mix of films. Like a Charlize Theron would be a really good tournament, I think, to do. Also maybe Uma Thurman would be kind of fun. Julia Roberts. Somebody put Julia Roberts. That would be a good one. Amy Adams. That'd be another one. She's another personal favorite of mine. Somebody mentioned Speed. Sandra Bullock would be a really good one to do. Michael Keaton, but we know Batman would win LOL off its status. I don't know. I would personally put Beetlejuice, but that's one of my top 5 movies of all time. Pacino would be good. Who is picking up the Speed Steelbook this Tuesday? I don't know if I'm getting the Steelbook. Does it have a slipcover, or is it another one of those Dirty Dancing deals where they just did the Steelbook? I hope not. I thought it had a slipcover. If it's just a Steelbook, I guess I'll get it because I don't want it in 4K, but I don't know. 2003 over Original Texas. I would have said that like 5 years ago, but I've watched the Original Texas a couple more times, and I think it's a better movie and it's scarier. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is good and Hatchet is okay. Okay, that's fair. Meryl Streep, Amy Adams, everybody's doing the actresses. Kathy Bates. Oh, yes. Kathy is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I don't know if I could pull out 16 movies with Kathy Bates, though. I might have to only do 8. I would have to see about that. But I mean, I love Misery. I love her in Titanic, Fried Green Tomatoes. I mean, a lot of movies. End of debate, Ken. End of Inception. Was it a dream or not? Or in the debate, Ken. End of Inception. Was it a dream or not a dream or not a dream? I don't care. I don't like that movie that much. We'll say it's a dream. We'll say it's a dream. Peace out, everyone. I'm glad training day 1. Awesome, Danny. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate it, buddy. Definitely go check out Danny's YouTube channel. Side Hustle Cinema said Sandra Bullock. Yeah, like I said, that's a good one. Sandra is the one. Yeah, I think she's the one too. I think you could pull a lot of a different range of interesting titles because Julia Roberts has a lot of great like romantic comedies and stuff, and comedies and some dramas, and she doesn't have a lot of action films. She's got some thrillers. She doesn't have a lot of action films where she's kicking butt. Am I right about that? Or am I missing a Julia Roberts movie? What Beatles over Batman? I'm not crazy. You're just a DC fan, Kal-El Daily. That's why you pick Batman. I mean, Batman 89 probably would be my second, but yeah, Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies of all time. Nicolas Cage would be interesting actor to do. So interesting enough, Nicolas Cage on the first ever episode of Ken's Movie Experience, we didn't do a tournament or nothing, but we talked about the best of Nicolas Cage's movies. So go back and check that out if you want to hear me talk about Nicolas Cage movies. Frances McDormand would be cool. Yeah, but I mean, she obviously 3-time Best Actress winner now. I don't know if I could do a tournament battle of Frances McDormand movies. I do like 3 Billboards, Nomadland, Fargo. Be about the extent of it. Charlize Theron is a good choice. Yeah, I think she was. Charlize Theron or Sandra Bullock would be my pick. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler would be fun. Adam Sandler would be very fun because he's got a lot of shitty movies and he's got a lot of really great comedies. And then he's got a nice mix of really interesting dramas as well. So Adam Sandler would be pretty great. Culture Trini says later, guys. Thank you for joining, man. I appreciate you being here. Cal L. Daly says Sandra Bullock. One love, Ken. Great tournament. Thank you for being here, Kay. I appreciate it. Adam Sandler is a fun one. And speaking of Kay, Tommy Lee Jones might be a pretty good one, too. Actually, Keaton has done great dramas. Birdman is a good pick. Yeah, Birdman. I like The Founder quite a bit. And Spotlight. He was in Spotlight. Sandra got Speed and The Net and Demolition Man for action. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are some great picks. I would love to do a Sandra Bullock one. That would be really cool. Between Speed and Demolition Man, those are like two of my favorite movies from the 90s. Batman 89 in my top 5 favorite movie. I mean, that's my favorite. We did a ranking of the Batman movies not too long ago, and I picked Batman 89 to be over The Dark Knight. So I get the love for Batman 89. But I wouldn't put it above Beetlejuice. McDormand is also in a lot of Wes Anderson films, Almost Famous, etc. Yeah, I haven't seen Almost Famous, and I haven't seen a lot of Wes Anderson films. I've only seen Budapest Hotel. And was on with Gene Hackman and Luke Wilson. Only I think they're in a lot of Wes Anderson movies too. But the family one, The Royal Tenenbaums, that's what it was. Robin Williams would be another fantastic one. That would be awesome. That would be an awesome one. The world truly didn't deserve his talent. I agree, man. He's one of the best for sure. Emma Stone. Emma Stone would be interesting. I would have a hard time maybe pulling 16 movies. Has she been in? I know she's probably been in 16 movies, but has she been in 16 movies where she was a big name actress and star in them? That might be tough. Arnold would be incredible. Sly would be incredible. But again, with Arnold, it might not be as interesting because we know we're all going to go down to Terminator and Predator. So, but I don't know. Maybe somebody puts Kindergarten Cop up top. For actress Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts, yeah, they're both would be great picks. Both would be great picks. Speaking of Demolition Man, what about Stallone Tournament? Yeah, Stallone Tournament, I would only be able to pick maybe 1 or 2 Rocky movies, 1 or 2 Rambos, and then have to go off the rest of his filmography. Wesley Snipes be awesome. That's what Cal Daly says. Yeah, but again, I don't know if I could pull a lot of Snipes movies out. I got like Blade and Demolition Man, and yeah, I'm struggling to think. White Boy Can't Jump or White Men Can't Jump. Yeah, I'm struggling to think. I'm sure he got at least 16 notable ones to talk about, but Al Pacino would be good. Scarlett Johansson. I'm not a huge Scarlett Johansson fan, so I don't know if I'd want to do a tournament of her. Plus, it'd be like, no, Scarlett Johansson's been around for a long time. She's been around for a long time. It wouldn't be only MCU movies. She would have an interesting mix of movies. I don't know, maybe just so I could rip apart Under the Skin, because it's like one of the worst movies ever made, in my opinion. Kurt Russell would be awesome. I would love to do Kurt Russell. Idris Elba. I would have to look at some of his movies because I don't feel like he has a lot. I don't feel like he has a lot of good movies either. Because there's some stinkers that he's done in his recent filmography. New Jack City, Sugar Hill, Brooklyn's Finest. Yeah, I would have to watch all those. I would have to watch them all because I have not seen them. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get the hell out of here, end this stream. I appreciate everybody joining us here tonight for Ken's Movie Experience, episode 16. Yeah, appreciate everybody joining. If you could like this video, I would definitely appreciate that. Give this video a like. And another thing to note that I didn't really call out is I just hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So again, appreciate everybody that's newly subscribed, that's been a subscriber of me for a long time. I honestly can't believe I'm at 2,000. I didn't even know if I would get to 200 this time last year. and it's amazing the growth that I've had, and I just appreciate everybody that's in here tonight, even watching this, everybody that just watches my videos in general. You guys are awesome, and yeah, there might be a upcoming celebration stream coming. I haven't scheduled it yet, but it might be coming up sometime in the future. So as for this Tuesday, we're going to be back with World's Biggest Collectors. I've got 4K Media Guy on this Tuesday for World's Biggest Collectors, just getting together to talk about physical media. So it should be a good time. I'm going to be back from a physical media report tomorrow. Blu-ray hunting on Tuesday. Probably going to be doing a review of Spaceballs in 4K this week as well. Some other content that I'm planning at the end of the week, probably for the weekend, and then we'll be back for Ken's Movie Experience next Sunday. And also look out for some content on my wife and I's review channel, Married with Media. I've got the link down below if you guys want to subscribe to that. We haven't put out an official review yet, but we're planning to put one out this week. So I would appreciate any support up there. And like I said, I appreciate you guys just being here, supporting me. And now I'm asking you guys to subscribe to another YouTube channel, but I don't know. I appreciate it. And I feel like there'd be a few people that would maybe want to come over and subscribe. So I appreciate any and all support, guys. Please like this video, comment down below your thoughts on Denzel Washington as an actor. What's your favorite Denzel Washington movies? All that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.